Is your Social Security monthly check correct? Well, this is Dr. Ed Weir, retired district manager of Social Security Administration. Me and my team have helped hundreds of thousands of people across the country make sure they get everything they're entitled to from Social Security and Medicare. So give us a call, 888-817-0446, to see if we can do the same for you. So there's a few things we look at to make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to on a monthly basis. Again, I've worked for Social Security for a few decades, and I know where they make mistakes. And yes, Social Security does make mistakes. Computer systems are not the best in the world. They're based on 1970s technology. Employees, you got new employees, you got veteran employees. Everybody makes mistakes. So the number one thing to do to make sure your monthly benefit amount is correct is to check your earnings, review your earnings. How do you do that? Well, you go to ssa.gov and you set up a myssa.gov account. And this is always good to do anyway. It prevents fraud. If you set up an account, it's so much more difficult for someone else to set up an account in your name. So that's the first thing. Security stops sending out letters once a year with, this is how much you earned last year, and this is your entire earnings record for your entire life, and this is how much you received when you retired or disabled or something like that. For financial reasons, they stop sending those out. But you can go online, or you can call the 800 number. I'll put it right up there. Call the 800 number and have them send your earnings record. And what you do is you go ahead and review your earnings record, because again, that's how they determine how much your retirement benefits are, your disability benefits are, survivor benefits, all of it. It's determined by how much you actually paid into Social Security. So that's the first thing you need to do. If you see a discrepancy, you just need to call your local Social Security office, provide the proof, like, 3 years ago I worked, but there's zero earnings there. And you just get your tax returns, take it down to your Social Security office, and they will correct it and recalculate your retirement benefit, your monthly check, and everything will be good. If you have any problems there, reach out to us and we can definitely walk you through the process and teach you little tips, tricks, and suggestions, secrets on how to get those corrected. All right, next, military. If you served in the military, in particular, this is active duty for a year or longer during particular times, so particular years. So it's easy to check though. All you have to do is call the 800 number and ask them whether they took your military service into consideration when they calculated your benefits. If not, you'll just have to provide your DD-214. How do you get your DD-214? You just go to NARA.gov, request a copy of your DD-214, and then submit that to the local Social Security office, and they can include it in your benefit amount, and again, recalculate your benefits. Number 3, previous marriages. So I see a lot of mistakes going on here. You filed for Social Security 5 years, 10 years ago, and then you get divorced, or your spouse passes away, and you start collecting benefits on that particular spouse. But you had another spouse prior to that you were married to for 10 years or longer, or the marriage ended in death, or there are other exceptions as well. And that benefit amount is higher. So what you should do is essentially file a claim for survivor benefits on the higher amount. That's what the Social Security employee is supposed to do when you go in and file for survivor benefits, including that embarrassing $255 lump sum death benefit. If you want to provide a little bit more in terms of death benefits, give us a call, and we can walk you through the process of the final expense burial insurance, and see if there's something better out there than $255. It's been $255 since the 1950s. So if you have a previous marriage and the benefit amount is higher, you can definitely go on to a higher benefit amount. A lot of people say, well, it was in the divorce, for instance, it said that's all I'm going to get. Well, that doesn't matter. Social Security doesn't care about what the divorce said in terms of Social Security. The person is remarried, doesn't matter. 2 or 3 or 4 people can get benefits, survivor benefits, spouse benefits from one number holder. It doesn't matter whether the person is, married or something like that. And the other person will never know that someone else is receiving benefits on that person's record. So if you have any questions on that, it's all pretty complicated. Give us a call and we can walk you through the entire process and help you out and see whether you in fact need to schedule a claim to file for spousal benefits or survivor benefits. Number 4, auxiliaries. If you had a child that was disabled before the age of 22, or a current child that's under the age of 18 or still in school, high school that is, Social Security stopped paying college benefits many, many years ago. But there could be auxiliaries, children benefits that you're entitled to. So definitely when you file a retirement claim, a disability claim, a survivor claim, the Social Security employees is supposed to ask you those questions. Do you have any children that were disabled before the age of 22? Do you have any children under the age of 18? And those type of questions. So make sure you get all your auxiliary benefits. Number 5, WEP and GPO, a not very popular. If you don't know what WEP GPO is, then that's a good thing. It's called a windfall elimination provision. It's for people, predominantly people that work for state governments, city governments, county governments, and that did not pay into Social Security. So it's a windfall elimination provision. I'm going to be doing another long video on WEP GPO. But the important thing there is you don't get the offset applied until you actually start collecting that pension. So if you're 62 years old, you start collecting Social Security benefits, you're not WEP'd until you actually start receiving that pension. So 62, 63, 64, you get the regular amount. At 65, you start getting your WEP pension, then it's recalculated. Disability. What about disability before FRA? That is full retirement age. I get a lot of calls and there are a lot of emails going out to seniors, 65, 66, 70, 80 years old, that get emails on a regular basis from companies that are basically lead generation companies that said, hey, the Social Security laws have recently changed. You need to contact us so you can get $3,000, yada, yada, yada. It's all pretty much a kind of bait and switch, trying to get you to call. So they will essentially never leave you alone. If you become disabled before your full retirement age, then you definitely need to file for disability. If you become disabled after your full retirement age, there's about a year period there where you might want to consider filing for disability, but essentially after your full retirement age, there's no such thing as essentially disability unless your disability started before your full retirement age. And again, your full retirement age depends on the year we're born. It started at 65 and goes all the way up to 67 years old. So disability after your full retirement age is a lot more difficult. You have to prove that it happened before your full retirement age. And even if you prove you're disabled, your benefit amount, if you retired early, your benefit amount might not actually increase. So it might not even behoove you to go through the entire process. Again, if you're considering disability after your full retirement age, give us a call and we can evaluate whether it's a good procedure to go through. And if so, we can give you all the tips, tricks, and secrets on how to file a disability claim. Voluntary tax withholding. So if it looks like you might pay taxes and you also want taxes to be withheld from your Social Security check, you can request Social Security withhold those taxes, called a voluntary tax withholding. What I see though is some people put that on when they, file early at 62, 63, 64, whatever the case may be. And they say, okay, take 10%, 20% from my Social Security check and pay, taxes with it. And then they forget about it, and they're paying taxes and possibly should not be paying taxes. So definitely review, again, go on to myssa.gov and make sure you haven't forgotten about voluntary tax withholding on your Social Security check. Number 8, court-ordered payments, withholdings, or overpayments. All right, so I've seen many cases of people having child support or alimony or IRS withholdings dictated by a particular court somewhere in the country. And those courts essentially send papers to the Social Security Administration, and we are obligated to withhold X amount of money from your Social Security check. So make sure you check your Social Security check and make sure, a court order that you had, 5 years ago is still just not sitting there. A court that has stopped collection but it's still being withheld from Social Security, from your Social Security check. Make sure that's not happening and you're receiving your full benefit amount. Or if you've had an overpayment from the Social Security Administration, there are ways to protest that, appeal that. You can watch one of my other videos on exactly that question on overpayments, and set up a monthly plan if you can't pay it in one by cutting one check. But again, watch my other video. And next, Medicare. Make sure that your check is correct in terms of Medicare. Is your Medicare Part B premium correct? If you've, for 2023, if you've made over $97,000 as a individual modified gross income, as they call it, then you will pay more for your Part B premium. But those calculations are based on 2 years prior to the current year. So if you've had a life-changing event, then you can notify Social Security of that life-changing event, and you can get your Medicare Part B premium reduced to the standard premium. And again, give us a call and we can walk you through the process of filing an appeal, a life-changing event for that. If you're paying the $164.90 for 2023 and just can't afford that, another important thing is to check your Medicaid office. There are millions of people who have Medicaid pay their Part B premium, including a lot of the other co-insurance and co-payments and prescription drugs for their health coverage. So it's important to make sure, if you're low income, low resources, you just might be eligible for your state welfare Medicaid office to pay for your Part B premium and other healthcare charges. So again, there's millions of people that are receiving that, but unfortunately, half of the people that are entitled are not receiving that help from the state. So let's get this word out there. And if you know anybody that's struggling to get by, and that $164.90 will make a world of difference, that person just might be eligible to get help. So have them reach out to us and we can walk them through the entire process and make sure they get everything they're entitled to, which also includes the low income subsidy, which is a program from Social Security to help you with your prescription drugs. We can help you with that process as well. It's one of the easiest Social Security applications there are, and we've done hundreds of thousands of them, and so we can definitely help you out with that process as well. And don't forget, number 10, to make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to from your monthly Social Security check. It's there is no number 10 there, but number 10 is subscribe. Please subscribe. And that way you can keep up to date on all things Social Security and Medicare. So if there are any new programs, stimulus checks, or anything like that, you will be the first to know about it. Click that little bell there. That way YouTube will send this video out to more people. And comment. So if you have any questions, comments, good news, bad news about your local Social Security office, please put it in the comments there. And we'll take a look at it and answer as best as we possibly can. So please subscribe, click like, and comment. Any help with any of this, just give us a call, 888-817-0446. We help people throughout the country navigate Social Security and Medicare on a daily basis, and we can help you. Have a beautiful day.